Hey friends, Happy New Year and welcome back to another Budget With Me video. Today I am sharing my first Budget With Me in 2024 using the Budget by Paycheck method and a zero-based budget. I'm paid bi-weekly, so today's Budget With Me video, I am budgeting my January 2024 paycheck number 1, which is actually going to carry me through the next 2 weeks of January. Now, in case you didn't know, I'm someone who believes in pay transparency, so as always, these are my real paycheck numbers that I share in each Budget With Me video. Now, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Shadavia, and this is Oshi Budgets, where I do talk about all things money, budgeting, and savings related. So if any of that is budgeting content or budgeting topics you're into, do me a favor and give today's video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but don't forget that notification bell so you never miss the next time I post. As I mentioned, today I am going to be using the zero-based budgeting method, which means that I'm going to be taking my income minus my expenses and be left with $0. So go ahead and feel free to grab a pen and paper to follow along with me in today's budget, and just using whatever preferred budgeting method you want. The basics are pretty much going to be the same. So when you're creating your budget, you want to start by writing down your income details. So for my January paycheck number 1 for 2024, I am going to be budgeting out $1,606.06, and that is going to be that $1,606.06 is going to be budgeted amongst my fixed expenses, my variable expenses, and any type of savings goals that I do have. Now, my personal fixed expenses for this bi-weekly paycheck is going to be my car note, my lights, my gas bill, daycare, some storage, phone storage for myself and my daughter, and then my gym membership. So if you're new to budgeting and you don't know what a fixed expense is, a fixed expense is just an expense that you have that doesn't really change in price or amount. It typically stays the same. So when you're thinking of fixed expenses and you're creating your budget, think of things like your rent, mortgage, car note, things like that, that you know exactly what you're going to pay each month. Now, this does kind of get a little tricky when it comes to my budget, and you guys will see why. So starting with my car note, is very much a fixed expense. So I know exactly how much I have to pay each month, and then I break that into my bi-weekly paychecks. So for my car note, I am budgeting out $249, and I do that bi-weekly. So once, I have my paycheck number 1, January paycheck number 2, then I'll essentially, I guess, pay the full car note. But I do like to pay on a bi-weekly basis because in the end of the year, I have an additional month's worth of payment, but it also helps knock down the interest that you're paying on those car loans as well. So as always, I do advise, if you're not paying it bi-weekly, definitely pay your car note bi-weekly if you're able to. And if you're paid weekly, try to, break it down into 4 and maybe pay it on a weekly basis. If it works for your budget. It doesn't always work, but if you're able to, I highly, highly recommend it. Now, the next fixed expense that I have is my lights. And this is where I say it gets a little tricky, because although my light bill is something that I know that I'm going to pay each month, the amount that I'm going to pay does fluctuate. Usually by, it could be anywhere between $120 to, I think the most has been like almost $400, you guys. Now this is lights and water, but the way that I like to break it down into my budget is that on my first paycheck, I'll take out $100. And then by the time I get my second bi-weekly paycheck, I already have the bill, so I'll know how much I need to budget, whether that's, additional $70, $50, whatever the case may be. Now, this January paycheck number 1 for 2024 is a little different because technically I got paid 3 times in the month of December. So I've already set aside $100 for lights, but since I guess it's so early in the month, I really don't know how much the light bill still is going to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and budget out another $100. And what will happen is, let's say the bill comes out to be $175. then I'll just leave the additional $25 into my buffer account. So the same thing kind of applies with my gas bill. I don't have a bill at this current time that I'm filming this video. I did enroll in budget billing, so I think it's supposed to be anywhere between $80 and $90. So I'm just gonna go ahead and budget out $100 there as well. And that's pretty much gonna cover that bill. Now, if there is, if the bill comes back more, then I'll just make the needed adjustments in my budget. Now, daycare is something that's newer in my budget, and if you've been following my channel, you probably haven't seen it before. But we have a temporary daycare situation with our youngest daughter where we're going to be paying $200 per week while she's in childcare. In the next few months, that should be changing, but for right now, it's going to be at least 3 or 4 months that we're going to have to pay that. And so since my husband and myself, we're paid on opposite weeks, one week I'll pay $200, the next week he'll pay $200, and we'll kind of balance it that way between our budgets. So daycare is one of my newer fixed expenses, but a lot of people have daycare. And so that would be considered a fixed expense because it doesn't change month over month. The next two bills that I have are storage for myself and my daughter. So my storage is $9.99, and then my daughter is 99 cents. And that's just additional phone storage that I have for myself and my daughter, because I do record on my iPhone and I am someone who takes a lot of pictures and videos. So I definitely need that storage for myself. And then my daughter, she was playing a lot of games and things on her phone that took a lot of storage. So I just figured, why not get her that additional storage as well. So that was 99 cents. And then this is a newer fixed expense as well. And that's a gym membership, which is $27.11. Not too happy about that one, but since we have some plans to make some adjustments here in the next few months, it's, I want to say temporary, but I don't know how many months it's going to be there. I used to pay about $10 a month. Now it's $27, but it does give me unlimited access to all the different locations. And it's a 24-hour gym, so I guess there's pros and cons to it as well. But let me go ahead and run these numbers for you guys, and then you can see what I'm going to be left with after I take care of my fixed expenses. So we're going to take the 100 from lights, 100 for gas, 200 for daycare, $9.99 for storage, another 99 cents, and $27.11 for that gym membership. So that then leaves us with $918.97. And that is going to go towards these variable expenses and savings. So once you've gone through your fixed expenses, you can pretty much dive into your variable expenses, which are just your daily spending. When you're doing this in your budget, make sure you include some type of personal spending for yourself or your family, because what I've noticed is that realistically, it's just bound to happen. You're bound to spend money on yourself or on your family. So just go ahead and include it in your budget so that you're not over budget or, having to use a credit card because you didn't have the funds for it. So this is also part of your budget where if you do need to make any type of adjustments or cut back, then you can definitely do it here as well. Now, my variable expenses for this January paycheck, number one, is my groceries, my gas, household, self-care, and family and fun. I actually cash stuff my variable expenses, and so once I get paid on Friday, then I'll be able to go to the bank, withdraw the cash from my budget, and then put those into my cash envelopes as well. And you'll probably notice, if you're new here on my channel, you'll see some cash stuff in videos as well. So for groceries, I am a family of 5. And so I typically do $100 per week. But since my kids are out of school on Monday, I want to bump that up just a little bit to account for that. So this week in our grocery budget, I'm going to be doing $125. And again, that's just going to take care of groceries for 1 week for our family of 5. Now, meal planning definitely has been my savior and grace when it comes to trying to stay on budget for groceries. The next bill or variable expense that I'm budgeting for on this paycheck is gas. Now, I do have the luxury of working from home, so usually one fill up is enough. And honestly, you guys, it's been about 30 to 40 bucks, but I'm still comfortable doing $60 because if I do, run a little bit over 1 week, or I notice I'm doing more driving, then I still have some cushion before my next paycheck. So I'm still budgeting out the $60 for my car gas. Now, household, I try to put like $20 in here, but since I've been doing a lot of cleaning, and you guys know, if you've been following my channel, my family probably eats the paper towels here because it seems like I'm always buying them. So I am going to bump that up for this bi-weekly paycheck and budget out $40 for household items. And then the last two, self-care and family, the way that I kind of budget these two out is I try to do at least $100 for our family and fun. Now, if we don't spend that, great, then it just rolls over. But if we do end up spending it, great, because we have it there. We don't technically always do something. It seems like we go out to eat more so with this family and fun budget, but I like having it versus not having it. So $100 is gonna go to family. And then I believe, let me just do some math here. So 125 minus the $60 minus 40 minus 100. So I'm left with $593 that I'm gonna be budgeting for this savings and then self-care. So I'm gonna go ahead and give myself $43 for self-care this week, and that is just for my own personal spending money. So to do anything that I want, maybe go get my eyebrows done, buy myself something, whatever it is that I want to spend money on, that's what that cash envelope or budget is going to be for. So then once we take that $43 away, I'm left with $550. Now we have the savings in our budget, and some people will actually start here. But whatever you do, you guys, please, please, please save something for emergencies and your financial goals. Now, for myself personally, savings has always been just a big focus for me. But this year, more importantly, because I am currently saving to build our dream home. A lot of you probably have joined my channel from my goal to save $10,000. Well, now I'm on a journey to saving $20,000 to get us into our dream home. And I still need to update you guys on that because it has been about 3 months now, and I've made huge progress, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. But with the $550, I'm gonna go ahead and put $150 towards our sinking funds. And I should have just titled that really kids, because that $150 for the next 2 weeks is going to be for our kids. I do know my daughters have a doctor's appointment and they need to get updated shots. So I'm not sure what the copay or the amount is going to be for that, but I'm going to go ahead and budget that $150 for them for the next 2 weeks. And then that leaves me with $400 that I can put towards my dream home. So in the end, I am going to be left with a zero-based budget, and that is how I like to budget out each paycheck. Like I said, once we actually reach our goal of saving $20,000, then we'll be able to shift some of these savings goals towards other financial goals. Now, I do currently save for my emergency fund as well, but those are some of the things that kind of happen in the background. So what you're seeing in my budget is things that I have to manually take care of. So that kind of wraps up my first budget with me for 2024. If you did enjoy today's budget with me video, do me a favor and go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of people are starting their budgeting journey this year, so leave some budgeting tips in the comments below and let me know of any budgeting topics you actually want me to cover. As always, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video upload, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.